Border has picked up that mantle and has been wearing it ever since. So Border will be a coin flip if a third map is needed. If you're a fan of either of these teams, and the community seems to think that Falcons has the upper hand, you're kind of hoping you don't see a Border. So let's load in to map number 1, W7M's choice of bank, and we will get into the action.
W7M, again, 4-game winning streak on bank, beating Liquid, NIP, Liquid again, and Loud. Now, those are 4 good teams, but I would say none of them are quite as good as Falcons, so they'll have their work cut out for them here on the first map of bank. Always a question of what the attacking bans will be. The first one is a Ying, so that speaks to me we're not going to be banning out hard breachers like we so often see on this map. Some teams will go for the Hibana Ace combo. The fact that we see a Ying makes me think we might follow this up with a Shield, a Grim, a Capitao. There it is. A little late, but we did get the Capitao in the end. So 2 big displacement operators that can be really effective when pushing that bottom floor bomb site will not be available to W7M. And then for Falcons, they won't have either the Azami or the Mira able to be played here. Meaves the Kaid up, which is going to be really strong on the basement and instantly does get locked by Uzis, but still, we're going to see a lot of interesting strats come out just based on these bans.
And I was actually reading the graphic incorrectly. This is Falcons' pick, not
okay.
W7M's.
Gotcha.
It is a bit confusing with the way that the logo is presented. I will say we are doing something new with the graphics, so you will have to forgive me. We will be giving you updates as to what is going on the other series on Stream A in case you are dialed in to this team or one of these teams competing here in this best of 3. We'll be telling you what's going on with NIP and SSG before this map started. Space Station had taken map 1. I think it was 7-3, 7-4 was the scoreline, something along those lines. I don't know whose maps they were playing on because we weren't obviously watching it that intently. We were busy preparing for this game. But if you're interested, we will be dropping spoilers as we go deeper into this series from the other game that's going on.
Immediately, we've got a little bit of interesting counterplay going on. The Liquifax brought out the Valkyrie here, which is one of the best defensive operators in the Siege. You've got all those cameras to spot players out, but Loban is instantly sending it Garage and getting into a gunfight. He deals some damage to Uzis, but takes a bit in return. He ends up just falling back. Very commonly, there will be a bulletproof or some kind of camera down there for the defenders. Tried to avoid that, did Loban, but unfortunately didn't quite manage to catch them off guard. Still hunting for something around there later in the round, I'm sure.
Loading new mag.
The second map right now is Consulate, and it's Ninjas in Pajamas very briefly with the lead over SSG, if anybody is curious about what's going on over on the A stream. But if something gets updated, we will let you know. Other than Loban taking a bit of damage, now it's up to the Shielded Dots, who sprints on in, rebuffed by Bride, Leaky Fac on the board as well, and it's Loban to strike fear into the hearts, as he's got the only kill at this point in time for W7M, and that's Solotov gone. Leaky Fac not playing the Soulless. It is one of his favorite operators, Jesse, but instead, Leaky Fac will be doing all of the calling on the Valkyrie.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, too, to be able to have him get that information. The roamers have more or less been falling off. We do still have Shaiko in Cafeteria, so there is a bit of an extension going on still from Falcons. He gets tracked by Volps right now, and unless he gets baited into something, you have to imagine Shaiko will fall off, goes down the hatch just as I say that. So that's going to be a full roam clear effectively done by W7M, but without the man count, this is going to be awkward, and Palu lurks his way down the main stairs in a pretty solid position to get a free pick.
Because of that action happening so early, there's plenty of time, and Palu has found an opening. Volps shreds through what remained of Leaky Fac. Most of the damage done by Palu. He's traded out by Uzis. Falcon still with the advantage at this point in time. Loban finds yet another. Bride shuts that down from inside a server, and Loban will be hunted down by the 2 remaining players. We haven't even said the name of the player staring Loban down in this position. That is Shaiko. Loban just needs to wait about 40 seconds or grab the case before he can watch the round end in favor of Falcons. So now it becomes incumbent upon him. Beat the time. No, Shaiko gets the job done, and Falcons win round number 1.
Yeah, pretty solid round coming through from Falcons. You know, they didn't have the most consistent round. I think the fact they let Loban get so deep down, or Paul, I should say, get down those main stairs, I think it caught them off guard a little bit. Added a bit of fear to that round that they maybe weren't expecting. W7M will do a lot of unorthodox things like that. They will catch you off guard, very good with plays, but in the end, Falcons were ready for it, trading out really nicely. I'm glad they were ready for the derp tunnel push. I'm glad they were ready for Garage. top to bottom, felt like they were expecting what W7M wanted to do that round. So nicely done by them.
I was loading up my stats, and I'm so used to calling them BDS that I loaded up BDS stats. And I was like, hold on a second, your Virtue's not playing on this team. What is happening?
It's late. It's late.
We have barely been able to cast this team since they've been playing under this organization. I think we've only done it one time.
Attackers have located a bomb.
You think?
That sounds about right to me.
Yeah. Old habits die hard. But obviously Falcons being given new wings.
Yeah.
Falcons were at a number of our previous events, but with Middle Eastern teams.
Yeah.
Not with this European squad. And with it being EML now, the Middle East teams can qualify for that league, no different than how Mexican teams can now qualify for the NA League, whereas before they were in the region that was known as LATAM. There's also just a general merging of sub-regions in various regions a year ago, give or take.
Yeah. There's been obviously a lot of shifts throughout the years in Siege, but we're now at a point where we're back to the 4 big regions that we had way back in the day. These 2 teams will be at the top no matter what regions they're playing in because they've been so consistent over the last couple of years. Top floor of Bank going to be brought out here, and I love Brede rocking that Clash. I think it's such a strong operator on this map. Furia will play it a lot if you ever seen Nade in that position, and it's just so good to stick it between Janitor and Stalk. You have a really good opportunity to slow players in from coming from top square. Don't think that's going to be the direction W7M want to go with this. They've got a lot of pressure happening over towards lobby, but as these players are still up on the roof, they've got options, they've got opportunities to move around. You already see Dodez playing on that ace, so if they need some of that long angle hard breach, that long breaching coming out from those Selmas, they'll have that available to them as it didn't get banned out, which is what you'd often expect for a map like Bank.
These are the last matches of the day, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
Okay. So not just ours, but also the SSG NIP matchup is the last one. So A stream will end if that's a quick 2-0 or something along those lines. Okay, perfect. That's what I had.
Barring a crazy battle in maps 2 and 3. And
no. I just
going quickly.
I just meant that it'll be over sooner rather than later. I mean, even if there's still a map that has to go, it's going to be over quickly, right?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay. Thank you for confirming. I appreciate that. Yeah, of course. So, Brede being hunted down by no shortage of players on the side of W7M. None able to deal with the shield operator. Brede, long considered one of the best supports in this game. He does have the lowest rating on Falcons, but that's in large part because Falcons have been so efficient through their games. They played 23 rounds up to this point. Brede is not negative. The only player on the team who has a negative KD is Leakyback, and he is a -1. That is an incredible statistic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll see him heat up pretty quickly here. 35 seconds, Parker, and this push has got to get going from W7M. You're going to have Loba coming to the main stairs and everybody else pushing square side.
Yeah, where the hell did the round go, Jesse? All 10 players still alive. Volp's getting baited in at this point, but they shove Brede back to a position where Dodez guns him down. Palu on the board as well. The only casualty is Volps, who dies at the gas. Thrown out by Leakyfac. Solotov is gone now as well, and Falcons on the ropes. Shaiko and Leakyfac working together, and Leakyfac will die. Shaiko with the sidearm out, but they mob him, and a big round from Dodez allows W7M to answer back. 1 round apiece through 2.
And I started that round by talking about the Clash in that exact position being run by the Falcons, and I talked about how strong it can be. W7M handle it so perfectly, just using Volps to distract the Clash. He can sit in that electricity. Of course, it doesn't deal damage anymore, Parker, so you can sit in there as long as you want. He doesn't need to move, doesn't have to go anywhere. And instead, we just see Dodez jump in the stock window, get that kill on the Clash from behind. As soon as Clash dies, everything else starts falling right afterwards. Loban some good kills as he had come in from down below, walks up those lobby stairs for a critical second dimension to that execute. Really likes that coming out from W7M. Falcons played well for 2.5 minutes, but those last 30 seconds mattered the most.
Yeah, the stall was really good on their side of things. The Falcons just battling against some pretty big adversity here. W7M have been so mighty good.
Yeah.
Now, not only have these teams been good here in the Munich Major, but they've been good throughout the entire calendar year. And there's more than just the Munich Major at stake for some of these teams. Don't don't kid yourself. Every single player that is at this event wants to win this major, no doubt about it. But there is a larger prize in the Siege ecosystem, and that's the matchup that every single team wants. That's the trophy that every single team wants, and it's SI. They want to lift that hammer. As you just briefly saw on your screen, 99% likelihood that both of these teams will make it, win or lose. So I think it is very, very unlikely that W7m and Falcons fail to make SI. If Falcons win this best of 3 and they guarantee themselves a spot on the main stage, I believe it's at 99.9%. If they lose, 99.7, which is pretty good.
Yeah, you'll take those odds if you're Falcons. And, of course, a big event, too. We're going to Paris, the City of Lights, hometown for 3 of these players. Ligifax, Shaiko, and Bride, all from that Paris area. So it's going to be really exciting for them in particular to go to Siege's biggest event.
Main focus at this point in time is rushing into the bomb site. A much faster execute from W7m. Some shield-on-shield violence as Dots is getting rebuffed by the Clash of Bride. EFAC is dead. So there go all of your gas canisters. That's one of your best operators to deal with this. But the Clash of Bride is proving to be such a nuisance. Volps couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. A bit of a bad entry for him, but there's Dodez to the rescue. Almost team kill from Uzis and Shaiko as Shaiko is now gunned down, and W7m have brought all the thunder and all the fury, and Dodez finds a quad kill on the Zofia to send this round away and give W7m the lead.
And that's exactly what you come to expect from this squad, man. Some big plays happening on the A stream, it does sound like, but Dodez following up Dots, right? That's how this team likes to operate. Dots is the distraction, walks in on the blitz, gets to a plant spot, forces Falcons to deal with him. He creates that problem that Falcons now need to respond to, but as they do that, Dodez is able to get in with the knife. He ends up meleeing down the Clash, finds so many more frags after that. I mentioned it the last time we casted them, but Dodez has the most kills of any player globally here in Stage 2. He's been amazing. Doesn't quite have the top spot in this major. That title actually goes to Solotov, who got 28 kills yesterday through 2 best of 1s, but he's not too far behind, 23 in the 2 BO1s that W7m played just yesterday.
28 kills in 23 rounds. Dodez, 23 kills in 22 rounds, so both of them well above 1 per round, which, again, might not seem like a lot, but if you are able to constantly trade yourself out, that makes the job of your teammates so much easier. Every single round, you are basically guaranteed to get a kill. That is huge, huge value. In terms of the ratings of these players, a lot has changed because other teams have played. So it's hard to say who has the highest rating heading into today, but it should surprise nobody that Solotov is the highest rated player still at this event. Dodez is not far behind in 5th place. So you got some heavy hitters. Shaiko just a little bit outside the top 10 at 13, and then Paulu and Loban at 17 and 18. That rounds out the top 20. So you've got really good players on both sides, and W7m are a team that you should not be sleeping on at this point.
Absolutely not, no. We've got the Solus coming back from Falcons, and this time it is being brought by the captain, Ligifax, running this operator as he so commonly has. So you see the flexibility in that Falcons roster as they slightly adjust to bring a Tubarao in. They want Soltov on that operator, so Ligifax happy to pick up the Solus. W7m completely changing up their lineup. They're going to be bringing in this Sens. They got the Fuse shield coming in from Dots. I know your opinions on that, Parker, but can really be effective if he's getting on those hatches to clear out some of that util down below. Would be great if there were some Goyo canisters and stuff like that. There actually aren't in this round. No bulletproofs, no Goyos, no Evil Eyes. Paulu's in the site, though. Hello.
It angers me immensely that you talk about the Fuse shield, Jesse. I don't even know if I can cast the remainder of this matchup. I'm just so furious. Paulu walks right in. You're absolutely correct. The Tubarao Solotov has now been dispatched to deal with Paulu, and he's unfortunately, his attention is split between 2 different factions on the side of Falcons. It allows an equalizer to happen, and some dissension in the ranks of W7m as now Loban will join him in the afterlife. The Fuse shield making an awful racket upstairs on that middle floor above the bomb site. The other 2 players still need to take up greater map control. You saw Dodez outside of the building. Maybe that was Volps. Hard to tell as we quickly flip through. 7 kills for Dodez through 3 active rounds is nothing to sneeze at. If he can continue this pace against some of the best players in the world, W7m will be a force to be reckoned with, even more than we've already seen.
Yeah, you really got to think W7m in this round have been started to lose it a little bit 65 seconds, so still plenty of time, and Volt gets one back onto Shaiko. Okay, he's just deep inside a server already. It's been a weird paced round from w7m ever since Palu made that push, but they're making it work. 3 different dimensions to this push, 2 guys coming in from the server, 1 on the main stairs. What can they do with it with 45 seconds?
Second round in a row of this bomb site where Shaiko has played very safe and is basically your insurance policy on these rounds. But a 3v3 with the fuse shield, still 3 cluster charges in pocket. PMM is out. Dot's able to get it done with his gadget. A cluster charge kill is as rare as a unicorn, Jesse. But we see one in front of our very eyes. Dota's on the run in the bomb site, but he's not the one with the case. Trying to open things up to deal with EFAC on the Solus, struggling through the final 15 seconds on the board. A nice swing from EFAC and Volps, and the Solus will be in a 1v1. Volps will get the case towards the halfway point. EFAC will swing around and secure with the kill. My goodness. Falcons doing mighty fine on this bomb site. The problems are elsewhere. Tie game.
Literally, and I didn't hear the guy dropping on the bed. That's crazy.
A little crazy. They talking about Paulu's gold push there. Coming in through the hatch that got the early pick onto the smoke, took down Bride. I think recognizing a little bit on Liquifact that, okay, he probably shouldn't have let that happen, but it's okay because they got the trade back, and I think the late round play from Liquifact was absolutely excellent. So good on that Solus operator, as we've touched on before. But w7m, just a little chaotic, I think, in that execute. That is sometimes the style they like to play. You know, they're not a slow team. They're not a boring team, that's for damn sure. And sometimes when the rounds get a little crazy, they do tend to thrive. Liquifact just a little bit better, though. His positioning around main stairs was absolutely perfect. Ties this game back up at 2-2, Parker, and it just feels like we're at the beginning of an amazing series.
I completely agree with you. And now I want to take a little bit of time to look at how the Glaz and the Clash bans will impact this bomb site and the bomb site that comes next. Neither of those operators were much used on that bottom floor bomb site. Clash was not played by Falcons, Glaz not played from w7m. But on the subsequent bomb sites, this one in particular, upstairs in CEO and then the one down below in open area, Clash was brought both times by Bride and the Glaz was brought both times by Volps. Both of these players have been freed from that operator because both of them have been taken out for the remainder of this half. So how do you deal with that? Well, I think it's fair to say that the Clash was a very important part of the Falcons defense playing by that stock door. There will be no slow potential on the side of Falcons now. They need to bring something else. So what have they done? Well, they're going to completely blow up their composition, and almost no operators are being carried over from that second round that ultimately went in favor of w7m here. So Falcons say, okay, we can't deal with the Clash. Let's try something completely new. Instead, they will rely an awful lot on information. Bulletproof camera, black eye cams, and 2 yokais on the board in the hands of an Echo, and this will be the first Echo that we see here on this map.
Yeah, going to be exciting to see what users can do with that. He does play a lot of Echo on this bomb site. Not a surprise to see him there, but he can be very good with it, just playing up on the top floor and meeting at the moment. Usually we see these Echo players try to be away from wherever the push is coming. This push does look like it's going to be square side, maybe CEO windows, so Fuses can play over towards the elevator, play long desk. He can have a little bit more impact with those yokai cams. I'm intrigued by Saltov picking up on the Aruni here. Sorry, Parker, it's late. Almost always seen on either the 2 route or the castle, but changing things up a little bit, trying to just get that value with the DMR, stop some of these explosives from coming in from w7m.
We talked to a couple players here about why Aruni is being picked as regularly as she is, and a lot of them just flat out admitted it's the gun and it's the sight. That is really it. So if you have the option to bring a high-powered rifle with a good scope on it, as a defender, you're going to take that. Seeking some survival in the corner, but right underneath the yokai, terrible positioning, read like a book. Solitov capitalizing off of that, putting said DMR to good effect. And now it's dropped the case in the middle of the site. That is a particularly damning problem for w7m.
Yeah, especially with the IQ down below. That's an unfortunate thing to happen. Logan will find both yokais stacked on top of each other. That's an efficient way to clear them out. It's just a shame it's happened after your planter has already gone down. Volp has recovered it, but there's no more smokes, Parker, and no more sense walls to cover this plant.
I mean, you've got an IQ. Why were you not using it that much earlier? Dodes continues his good work. 8 kills now in 5 rounds. A 9th could be there, but EFAC is just too formidable for him to deal with it. Down goes Yuzis. Solotov trades right back off, and the advantage is here for Falcons. They've only won on this bottom floor bomb site. Falcons looking to change that, but Lobin snaps on over. The Arunia Solotov playing keep away. They march into the bomb site. Lobin looking for safe harbor. He'll have to do it all himself. Past the point of no return, and Bride and Solotov double up to give Falcons a round that seemed at times a bit shaky. They finally escaped from that bottom floor bomb site with a win outside of basement. 3 rounds for Falcons, 2 for w7m.
You talk about the strength of the MK14 on Aruni, and that's a great example of just how deadly it can be in the right hands. A new operator from Solotov on that bomb site, but one that's been very effective. So nice to see him getting value out of that. I do agree, Parker. Lobin on the IQ's got to be a little bit better at catching those echo cams. I also felt like it was a little disconnected with the Sens wall with the coverage, because it felt like there was an angle from Janitor, even if the yokai wasn't there. Either way, though, Parker, that's the way it goes sometimes. Even at the highest level, it's very difficult to think of all these different elements. They may have not even realized that an echo was being played.
You have an IQ. It doesn't matter. Just use your gadget. I didn't see the gadget being employed all that effectively in that round. I don't know if it was Lobin just maybe being allergic to it, or maybe they had spotted it, but they didn't think the yokai was there, or maybe the yokai had been moved at the last second. It didn't look like it had. It looked like the yokai had been there for quite some time. Because the moment that breach opened up, and they went to push in to get that diffuser down, Dots was picked apart immediately because of that information. They were actually already on the yokai drone before he'd even walked right in. So a bit of a frustrating round for w7m and their fans, I'm sure, but read so perfectly by Falcons. And you do have to wonder if this was something that they knew would happen and had already pre-planned for it. Falcons have an enormous amount of support staff and a ton of money behind this team that allows them to spend more time doing research on their opponents than certain other orgs do. I mean, there are orgs here that have coaches that don't have a ton of experience, no analysts, no other support staff beyond that, whereas Falcons literally walks around with an entourage for crying out loud. So if there's prep work to be done, I imagine that Falcons will have done it, and I suspect that Falcons will be one of the most prepared teams here at the Major.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, too, because there is a strong correlation between the number of support staff you have and how deep you go in the Major. I mean, it's not a coincidence that the only team to show up without a dedicated coach was the first one sent home. CAG, of course, Didi is their former coach, but now has joined the team as a player, so they didn't have anybody standing behind them this event, and you have to imagine that hurt them in this situation.
No, undoubtedly so. It's always good to have an extra set of eyes. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how good you are. Having more minds helping you is of huge importance. And that whole adage, like, you know, there's too many cooks in the kitchen, etc., doesn't really ring true with me as long as players and the coaches know how to deal with their respective roles. It's not about cooks being in the kitchen. It's about the egos in those cooks.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, Parker. And through this round, it's been slow so far, but Falcons have decided it's about time to drop off that top floor. There's been decent pressure being given out by w7m. We've seen Lobin on the Savannah able to breach that Kanto wall, get some angles into Elevator. It is still Likifak who's staying alive up in Janitor, but as I say it, he drops down through the hatch. So minute 30 on the clock, they will all give up that space. Round's kind of going exactly how Falcons would have liked it to, just given that it is a slow push from w7m, changing up the pace a little bit compared to some of their rounds, especially that last open area push where it was just a rush in through square. Completely different look this time around. Dots goes on to the Monty rather than the Blitz, and with a slower shield, it's a slower pace push. Top floor under their control, and they'll start to work this verticality now.
I was going to lose my mind if I didn't see Dodez on that gadget. I was absolutely going to lose my mind. The Commando is a great gun, don't get me wrong, and IQ is still a strong operator, especially now that she's got nades back, albeit, you know, applied a little bit differently than when she had it the last time. But Intel again is the name of the game here. Hold on a second, Dodez drops into the bomb site, trades himself out, but still the advantage is in favor of Falcons. Volp's on the board, Palu as well. Yuzis keeps things level. Volps and Palu standing against Solotov and Yuzis now in 2v2 with 30 seconds to go, encroaching upon the territory. Solotov has gone unseen and has a read on the final two players. He's down and finished one of them. And
Oh my God! The fight goes!
4-2 the scoreline through the first half. Falcons with the lead as we swap sides.
Like a pack of rabid dogs, but they are pumped, rightfully so, about that play. Solotov was in tellers for the majority of that round, but rotated back into office for the final 2v2. Had some really nice plays there in the end, was tossing his Nitro Cell, didn't quite get a kill with it, but able to still cause some distractions, and his positioning was not known in any sense by w7m because he snuck so quickly deep in. We'll have a quick tech pause here as we finish the first half of the game, but I think Falcons have honestly played such a great game. W7M are one of the toughest teams in the world to defend against with their executes. We know how good they can be. They come in an instant, and they are all well coordinated, and they were even through these first 6 rounds, but Falcons did a phenomenal job of being ready for them.
No, absolutely. They read into this W7M team very effectively, and that's been one of the Achilles heels of a lot of these squads is W7M are catching them off guard, right? It has been very challenging to prep for and account for this W7M team. Enterprise giving them a very strong run, but that was mostly reactive.
Yep.
That wasn't something that they knew ahead of time. That was Enterprise fragging out on a very frag-heavy map.
Even for that, though, I mean, Enterprise were mostly finding success when W7M were on the defense. Their attacks have always been good. They were the best attacking team yesterday, winning 80% of their offensive rounds. Well, nobody would expect them to keep up such a stat through the entire tournament, but it's still a statement to come into day one and drop numbers like that.
Hearing, by the way, that the tech pause is for some administrative stuff, so none of the players having issues, which is actually very good.
Taxes were not filed properly, I think.
Yeah, somebody owes
Yeah.
Germany money, I guess. I don't know. Prime Minister, President, whatever that, or both, because a lot of Europe has both. Just pick one. Like, what are you doing with both of them? You don't need both.
Some beautiful blueprints there on W7M. I can't see exactly
Enhance!
what the strats might be, but plenty of information here.
We do have an update on the game going on the A stream, the final stream over there, with some serious implications on the line. Both Ninjas in Pajamas and Space Station fighting for their lives. Both teams find themselves winless. And because of that, the loser will go home. We will lose 2 0-3 teams today. We already lost CAG Osaka. That's the Cyclops team that finished second at Reload in Rio just in this past spring. Admittedly, a bit of a surprising result. This is a team that before that was a perennial group stage enjoyer, and that was about it. They never really made main stage. So, who joins them? Well, Ninjas in Pajamas and SSG are currently in map 2, and it is 5-5. NIP did have a very early lead. SSG has closed that gap in a hurry. They're enhancing it. Jesse, what can you see? They've enhanced, Jesse.
Okay, there's definitely some blue. There's
Maybe
walls.
some prints.
There's walls. There's some
There's
prints.
blues and there's some prints.
Yeah, not quite going to be able to see anything going on there. The detectives have done their best, I'm sure, with it.
Can we enhance more? No, I don't think. I think that's the maximum.
That's the max the zoom goes.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. We don't have the spy movie technology.
I was gonna say when they would they would enhance on somebody's reflection of a car door on somebody's eye, and it would show exactly what the key looked like, and then they make the key so that they could unlock the lock. That's not how technology works.
No, it is. It is. We just don't necessarily have it here.
I don't think that's correct.
Okay.
I don't think that's how the technology works.
Okay.
Sorry, that technology is only available in other esports.
Nice, I'm sure, for these two teams to have a bit of a not as stressful of a moment here. Sometimes these tech pauses happen in much more dangerous situations. We're still map 1. I'll remind the viewers, this is a best of 3, so plenty of games still to be played. Even if W7M lose this first map, they can rest easy knowing this is the Falcons map pick. This is still a series that they're deep in and will be fighting hard to get out of in first place. I don't know exactly how the seeding would work, who would be the number 1 seed and who would be the number 2 seed, but you're guaranteed a top 2 seed. It's either you or M80, and I believe that comes down to the Buchholz score, which is too complicated of math for me to do, unfortunately, here, but I'm sure Sprabuni will be on it.
Sounds like we've sorted the tech issue, so the coaches will be able to talk for 20 seconds here in halftime. As for tomorrow, we got some exciting games coming for you. We'll be starting off the A stream with Enterprise versus Furia. Both of those teams will be fighting for their lives. Loser of that game goes home. We could send another APAC team home, or Furia could end up going home, depending on how that matchup goes. Over here on the B stream, we'll have Secret versus Weibo, and very different expectations in that one. Those are two teams that are looking to make main stage. So the winner of that series, whether it be Secret or Weibo, will go to the main stage. The loser still has one more opportunity to qualify. Depending on the results in this match, we will see whether Falcons and W7M play wild card And then over on the other stream, it'll be the winner of NIP SSG playing up against Shopify Rebellion. There is a chance that it could be SSG versus Shopify Rebellion where the loser goes home.
Oh, boy.
That would be intriguing. Troy Canadian playing up against one of his former orgs that he won a world championship with many, many moons ago. And then we round out the day with some known quantities. D+ versus G2. Loser of that matchup goes home. And on the B stream, it'll be BDS versus FaZe Clan, where the winner of that goes forward if memory serves correctly, but you'd have to fact check me on that one.
Yeah, that'll be a winner's game for sure. Gonna be an exciting set of games. All of those sound incredible.
You and I are not casting tomorrow. We have the day off.
Nope.
So we get to take in some beautiful Siege and maybe explore the beauty that Munich has to offer. We're going to get back into the action.
10 seconds to insertion.
Bottom floor bomb site, the first place that w7m is going to go to. This was a fortress for Falcons when they defended. They were successful both times. Will this be Falcons bomb site, Jesse? Are they going to go 3 for 3 on it despite them being on attack? Or will it stay in the defender column and w7m pushes that gap a little bit closer to just one round?
It's going to have to be an incredible performance from Falcons. This is the strongest bomb site on the map for defenders, and we once again did not ban the Kaid, but Habana and Ace both got removed. So hard bridging those hatches is going to be really, really difficult. Paulu's going to jump on that Kaid operator, try to keep these hatches closed. He would usually be the one playing the Mira on this team on the bomb site if that was left up, but that was the first operator actually getting banned out by the Falcons. So not wanting to play any games with that. Happy to deal with the electricity instead. Only EMPs to deal with it, but they also have Liquefact, of course, here on the Maverick. Dots ends up being the first one to go down, though. Soltov pushes deep through dirt for the opening pick.
45 seconds, and Dots is typically among the bottom players in terms of prowess, in terms of rating on his team. Falcons very quick to the punch here, Jesse. We're just about a minute into action, and 3 players on Falcons now assembled. Over on the side of server, that's Brede taking up an awful lot of space. Neither of these walls leading into the A bomb site have been reinforced, so all they need is some level of soft destruction to open this up. Hatches also mostly open above them. It will be incumbent upon EFAC to get those open. A can opener as well in the pocket up Brede in for uses. Too, as there goes a Zoto canister just to slow things down and give more information to the defenders. Deep freeze will eventually be thawed. Action will once again commence, but for now we're at the halfway point.
Yeah, this is likely to take a while to just get these hatches open, get yourself secured, because there is that Tubarao. There's also the Kaid, which is keeping some of those hatches still closed. I believe one was on the gold hatch, and another one maybe just over inside the server. So they've got a lot of utilities still to work through. Goyo canisters, too, to burn throughout, and they've just wasted their last nade to try to clear those, so they might have to try to bait this one. Otherwise, going for a late round plant could be a problem. But the biggest upside, of course, Parker, they've got so much time still on Falcons. There was no roam to speak of from w7m, and Brede is starting his first plant.
There is an old joke about the rhythm of trying to get a successful plant down, and that's a default spot for Brede right on that open panel, but we'll have to bait out all of this utility. You could make a very good argument that all 5 of the players in the side of w7m, those operators, they're all anchor players, so you want to be nestled into the bomb site. You've got Evil Eye cams, you've got those Goyo canisters streamed out, you've got the gas canisters to deal with as well, and there goes some of the fire and the flames. All of that time is a godsend for Falcons, but they are going to run into clock problems here. So what does Brede do? He finds another spot to get that plant down, but he meets his fate at the hands of a Nitro Cell. Now, it's Falcons finding an opportunity away from the main bomb site. EFAC with 2. Volp's the only kill. It's Dotez and Paulu now backing away. The fight still very much in hand for Falcons. Diffuser in the hands of Solotov, and Shaiko will get both kills. My goodness. It is a Falcons bomb site, 3 for 3, twice as defenders, once as attackers. And the lead grows for Falcons as they're now sitting up 3 over w7m.
Fucking pussy! Oh my god!
You cannot say that on television.
Oh, Shaiko feels good. Couple of big kills to end that out. Even
Can I say that word?
Absolutely not, Parker.
That's not fair.
No, looks like we might have a conclusion to map 2, Parker.
We do, and just to spoil it for you here, because it's just obviously been spoiled in front of you, Ninjas in Pajamas winning 7-5 on map number 2, meaning a third map will happen between NIP and SSG. The loser of that series does go home. Will the first team from Brazil or North America go home? We will have an answer in probably about an hour. But boy, oh boy, that second map was awfully close.
Wow.
If I'm SSG, I'm kicking myself over a couple of those deaths, and if I'm Nip, I mean,
10 seconds
Jesse,
left.
you and I casted most of Nip's playoff run. Yes. This Nip team does not love their fans. They want to make every single game go as deep as humanly possible just to stress you out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter who NIP play. It's always going to be a very difficult game. That's what we learned in SIL this stage.
Nip close out a game easily, challenge impossible.
Yeah.
So,
It's been tough, but listen, they've also had some great historic success throughout Siege. They are SI champions from back in the day. Falcons hoping to do much of the same this year in Paris, and with this major coming up, their fans have not had the most to celebrate over the years, so we know they're hungry for more.
I mean, Nip won their championship in Paris during one of those COVID championships. So
Yeah.
that was after Nip had already gone to the SI finals just the year prior, if you remember. There's a fun little quirk there, right? I mean, you had SSG and Nip in 2020, and then Nip goes to the grand finals in 2021, and they win. What happens in 2022? You have G2 and w7m go to the grand final. G2 wins. w7m goes to the grand final in 2024, and then they win. So you have these teams bouncing back. That would mean that we could potentially see one of those two combatants make the finals at the Paris SI, which has been advertised here on the stream.
Yeah, I mean, FaceTime did the exact same thing, lost in the finals, then went on to win it, so the pattern repeats with the
forgot
Falcons.
about that one?
Yeah, it's been a long history of losers going on to get revenge the very next year. Falcons, they are absolutely hoping that that's going to be them, but they got to get to the playoffs of Munich first. Palu opens up with a kill on Assaultov to start this round. It's going to be a pretty fast push, I think, coming in through these windows.
Very, very important that they are able to get these opening picks. Loban dies at the hands of Leaky Fac, and they're also scouting out Volps in this position. EFAC will try to smoke him out, maybe bait him in and then fire away. This is a good read, but he just wasn't expecting the smoke of Volps to hit the ground. Leaky Fac, by the way, breaking double digits, the only player in the lobby to do so. Solotov and Dodez both sitting at 9 kills. Dodez has fallen off a little bit. He was 7-1 at one point now, just 2 kills and 4 deaths since then. Dots has really not been able to muster much in the killing feed either, as he dies at the hands of Falcons. Volps shatters any hopes and dreams of Shaiko, and back to a 3v3 we go.
Waits on Ligafac's shoulders. He's got to find a way to get some opening. Bride can't get into the site until somebody dies on w7m.
Pitter-pattering away, Usis tears through Palu. Falcons regain the advantage. Down goes Volps, and Dodez now finds himself in a 1v3. A reminder, this is Falcons' map. They are showing exactly why that is. Dodez breaks 10 kills himself, an 11th, but not a dozen. Brady just a little bit too cool for comfort, and Falcons moved him at point.
Excellently done by Falcons, even when things start to go wrong.
They retake at 2 only, Shaco. The one who was clustered as well.
They find ways to break through, always managing to win those clutch situations. And I mean, that was a big part of their game just yesterday, with Falcons having some ridiculous clutches, most notably Usis having 2 massive 1v3s against D plus Kia back on border. w7m no strangers to the clutch either. Dodez having some big moments against Enterprise on the exact same map, actually. So these two teams are both strong in the clutch. If we head to that third map, some border clutches could be in store for us tonight as well, as that is the decider. w7m chose Nighthaven Labs for map number 2, and that seems to be quickly approaching. They'll hope that it's not so quick, but with the way Falcons have been playing, Parker, it just feels like they have total domination over w7m. On their attacks, they knew exactly how they wanted to execute. They were managing to avoid them in the late round chaos. Now on their defenses as well, they're picking them apart one by one. It's going to really require w7m to dig deep if they want to have a chance to push this to OT.
No, absolutely correct here.
Heading out to defuse a bomb.
Falcons are just, they're a team, again, that don't really have a weakness. The only team that I think, other than maybe this w7m squad in Montreal, that is capable of beating Falcons on most given days is Falcons themselves. It's really about their attitude and the headspace that they get into. I know that people have made jokes in the past about Leaky Fac's crash outs on stream, but that level of passion is absolutely a reason why they are so dominant. And it is infectious. It does get a lot out of your players.
It's notable that they lost the last 2 major grand finals. It was against w7m in Montreal. It was against Beast Coast, now the players on M80 in Manchester. It would be somewhat ironic if w7m won this, and then the last 2 major winners ended up being the 2 teams to go 3-0 in Swiss. Saltov.
This is a brazen play. This downstairs bomb site once again has been a great location for Falcons. Solotov goes on to drone, just some small scouting missions. w7m have completely blown up their composition, by the way. Not opting for as many anchor ops as before. Instead, this is a very forward approach. I think w7m looked at the way they defended this bomb site several rounds ago, and they didn't like it.
Yep.
They were too entrenched. They were too passive. They allowed Falcons to take up map control and do a full clear and then set up the way they wanted to, especially after losing Dots early. Dots was really the only player off-site, if you recall. And that was the Goyo that was picked off right at the beginning of the round. w7m now taking a far more forward approach. And it becomes incumbent upon Falcons to flush them out. And Shaiko gets spotted by Loban. Down goes Leaky Fack at the hands of Dodez. And within the span of a couple seconds, w7m vault up to a 5v3.
Some life from the roamers, and that's exactly what they needed. Falcons were aware that they were up there, but they just couldn't handle the aggression. Now they've got to have something going in through Garage. Saltov all by himself, knows that these players behind him going in through the other parts of the map will not be able to do it without him. He gets the first one onto Paulu, and the second. Dots goes down.
Oh my goodness, Jesse. Finished off by Dodez, far enough back. And now there's 2 over in server. That leaves just 1 unaccounted for, and the smoke will just continue to knock Bride away. A waiting game as he uses that shield to his best efforts. The smoke continuing to chase him down. All the while, where is this Usis? Where is this Sledge? Can he affect the outcome of the round? Oh my goodness. Bride trying his damnedest. And now the smoke falling away. A real standoff here. Uses finds 1, but he gets traded. w7m have to work for it, but they stay alive for the time being, Jesse.
That's such a terrible spot for the Monty to be in, Parker, because his teammate is across the map. He jumped in printer window that round right as Bride was starting to get pushed. Nice recognition from Volps, the captain of w7m, to recognize that he was all on his own and that he could go for a big play like that. They were in such a tough spot after the roam clear efforts both went down. The star French players of this Falcons team, Shaiko and Leakyfac, unable to do much on those top couple of floors. Shaiko had done a good entry. He was right next to Leakyfac towards the top of square, but in the end, it just wasn't quite enough for them to find those last couple operators. Azami and Grim will both be removed from the field. And one little advantage w7m have, because they went to that bottom floor bomb site in the previous round, is that they will get another chance to defend it. It is the best bomb site on bank. If they had gone through a full rotation, maybe gone open area in the last round, it would have meant they only would have 1 chance to play that bomb site before the game ends. Because remember, they have to win every site anyways. They had to choose in that previous round what would be the one site that they go to twice. I am assuming they don't want to play Archives Tellers. Maybe they will. But for w7m, there's always going to be that pressure on your shoulders, right? You have to win every bomb site. You're down as a defensive team. There's going to be no easy sites coming up, so what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to win a full rotation, and a full rotation then +1. So this is a very, very tough climb for w7m. It would mean that w7m goes on an impressive tear here in the second half. And I mean, it's entirely possible w7m is a team that I feel like we might even count out at times.
Yeah.
But Falcons are Falcons. They are and have been one of the best teams over the last calendar year. You could say similar things about w7m, though their results within the region have not been particularly great in comparison to their other compatriots, like FaZe Clan and Furia. But guess what? Neither of those teams are currently 2-0. w7m is. So when you get to a major, anything can change. Oh my.
Early damage going on to Saltov here outside on the CEO rappel. Top floor being the bomb site means that Falcons will have to once again adjust to what w7m are bringing out here. You've got Dots once again up on the Aruni, and it does seem, or sorry, on the Echo, but because of the Aruni, it does seem like we're going to go for a rehost right at the start of this round.
There is an issue with the Rudy in the game right now where sometimes the gates will do damage from afar.
Yes.
It has happened a couple times. If you've been watching the streams, we've had to do rehosts for it, and it's basically like you'll take damage from an Aruni gate even though it's nowhere near you. It is a very goofy bug, I will say. It's not something I've ever seen before. But as you saw, he was on rappel outside. These bank windows tend to be a pretty big culprit for it. I think it also afflicted M80. Gunnar was actually talking to us about it, if memory serves correctly. just earlier today.
Yeah, I know Gunnar, because it's a weird glitch where sometimes it does hurt the defenders as well. It's not just against the attackers. But Gunnar literally said, he's like, I'm playing a Rooney for the gun. I'm not even putting down my gates sometimes because I just want the gun. It's too unpredictable. And, listen, that's fair for some strategies, right? So we'll get that sorted out as quickly as possible. Shouldn't be too big of a delay to just get the players back in the lobby because nothing is broken. They just need to remake the round, so it shouldn't take too long. But maybe a bit of a momentum shift for w7m. If they can stall things out a little bit, put some fear back into the hearts of Falcons. They haven't been the most resilient team when it comes to these big games, right?
I think it's fair to say you got players on both teams here that have had issues with motivation in the past. I mean, Paulu has looked devastated on the bench of Liquid many, many times. Volps as well has kind of looked a bit down at times.
Fair.
Some of the players on this Falcons squad, especially when they were on BDS, had issues with mental too. I will say we are still in the group stage phase of this event, so it's not especially dire if you can't get your mental in check, but if you allow games like this to get under your skin, it does not bode well for the bigger games that are coming up. This is the first set of best of threes that these teams have played, so obviously expectations are a little bit higher than they were in the best of ones.
Yeah.
But you're not on the main stage. Not yet. That's what's up for grabs in this series. So keep your head cool and make sure you get out of this matchup in a good place. Right now, it's Falcons' map to lose.
And keep your head above water, as we like to say here in the Munich Major.
It is on. It might be printed on some of the paraphernalia that you would you get here if you're coming to Munich.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Paulu though, because he definitely has had his struggles sometimes with the mentality. We've seen him be quite devastated after big losses. One of those came in.
Wouldn't you be?
Absolutely. I mean, no doubt about it. But one of those big losses was in the Jönköping Major Grand Finals when he was playing for Team Liquid, and they lost a crazy close 5-map series to BDS, the same players sitting across from Paulu right now, and that was an incredible match for him specifically as an individual. He ended up dropping 40 kills in that series and was the highest-rated player on Liquid in maps 3, 4, and 5.
Do you remember if Volps was on that roster at the time?
I think he was. I'll double-check it.
I want to say he was as well.
I want to say he was, but I'll do a little Liquipediaing for you, Parker.
Thank you. I appreciate that immensely.
Volps was not on the roster. It was Nesk, Paulu, Ask, Resets, and Lagonis.
Oh, it was when Ask was still on the team.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say, on the side of w7m, 4 of those players know what it feels like to beat this team in a grand final. One of those players knows what it feels like to lose to this team in a grand final.
Yep.
At least in a major. And I mean, we're specifically talking about majors here. Jesse has made it a point to say that SI, EWC, all of that, Reload, are not actual bona fide majors, even if they might be S or S plus tier events, whatever you want to call them.
I'm going to be honest, Parker. Breaking it up just gives me more stats to talk about. Reigning major champ, different from the reigning invitational champ, different from the reigning S tier champ, different from the reigning Ubisoft event champ. 4 different titles, 4 different teams. I always like that. Makes my job as a broadcaster a little bit easier. But I mean,
it's a very hard job. It's a hard job crunching the numbers.
Yeah, thank you. Somebody finally gives me the respect.
I was not saying it with sincerity. You do a lot of work. You should see the spreadsheets that he does. Final checks by the admins going in right now just to make sure that our T's are dotted and our I's are crossed here. Or rather the other way, because if it was done that way, then we'll probably have to re-host.
Yep.
Over on the A stream, map number 3 about to begin between Ninjas in Pajamas and Space Station. Again, the loser of that series does go home. We will know which 2 teams will go out of the Munich Major without a single victory in roughly about an hour's time. Will that be NIP, the team that finished in first place in the group stage for South America and then struggled to ultimately qualify through some real grueling matches in the playoffs? Or will that be Space Station, the team that finished in first place in Stage 1 in the NA League, almost did it again in Stage 2, just narrowly being edged out by M80, the only team that's made it to the main stage so far.
Yeah.
From North America, which of those 2 teams will go home? I think it's fair to say that whether it's SSG or NIP, both of them going out 0-3 would be quite a surprise.
Yep.
And heading into this matchup, into this major, most people probably had them doing quite well. I mean, I had SSG making it in the top 8.
I had both teams making top 8 in my Ubisoft predictions, so my pick'ems are already ruined, which is
Jesse, one of them's not going to make it.
I fear they might not. I've got a bad feeling about me getting all 8 teams right, just based on how today has gone. But you never know. Cruel mistress of Swiss sometimes. That's just the way it goes. And we were talking about that for CAG actually a little bit.
They had quite a run.
They had to play some really tough teams through Swiss. But, I mean, again, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And you got to be able to win even against the best teams in the world. If you're going to be competing at this level, there's no freebies.
Here's the thing about CAG. They lost to FaZe Clan in their very first matchup, 5-7. So they went all 12 rounds.
Tough.
They lost to G2 in their immediate next match, 5-7.
Tough.
They lost to Furia 2-0. Again, really quite just brutal stuff. And that matchup against Furia was a lot closer, at least in map number 1, than you'd think. The first map went 8-6 in favor of Furia, and then obviously map number 2 was just it was a bit of a blowout. And I think at that point maybe CAG just...
CAG a big lead on map 1 too. They kind of blew it.
Well, CAG also had a lead on G2 in that second matchup. They were up 5-0, and G2 pulled off a 7-round comeback and toppled them 7-5. So, I mean, but that's cagging, baby.
That's cagging.
That's cagging.
Falcons hoping not to cag themselves with a big 6-2 lead that they had coming into this game. Might not go so well. Lickifak already dying to Dota, rocking with that Aruni DMR. The MK14 so devastating, and teams will be running this operator as much as they possibly can, despite some of the issues with it. No rehost this time around, so that kill will stand, and it's going to be kind of up to Falcons to recover from that deficit now. A man down, nobody on the bottom floor. And good information. If they can take down Dotas with a trade, that would be huge.
You're allowed to swap out your operator lineup when a rehost like that happens so that you don't, unfortunately, give up the game to your opponents.
Yep.
So. There goes what I imagine was a yokai drone.
Certainly.
No IQ needed. Just a healthy amount of IQ. From a game perspective for Usus, the only real detriment here is that we've lost the individual stats for the players, but before this rehost began, Solotov leading on this team with 11, Lickifak just shortly behind with 10. Dodez, far and away the best player on w7m with 14 kills, everybody else with 6 or fewer. Solotov and Brine might make this one close. Oh my goodness, it's all up to Dodez inside of Janitor. Get out your brooms, because they sweep through them on that one. All of that waiting just to come back for Falcons to pulverize w7m, take map number 1, and get one map closer to being just the second team to qualify for the major main stage in just a few days.
Tough one for w7m too, Parker. I think a lot to learn from that matchup. They wanted to go fast on a lot of those pushes, but Falcons were ready for them. Nighthaven Labs will be their second attempt to try to claw this one back, and then Border will need to be the third if we get there. Falcons looking incredibly strong from the EML region.
They picked this map. They knew that they would be comfortable on it, and they prevailed. 7-3 being the scoreline. Dodez, the only player who looked particularly comfortable on the side of w7m. Everybody else, unfortunately, not keeping their head above water on the side of the Bulls. So Falcons getting a little bit of revenge for what happened in Montreal a year ago, but there is still at least another map to be played, potentially 2.
Yeah.
It really just depends on what happens on that Nighthaven Labs map that was chosen by this w7m team. So it should be it should be comfortable soil for them. It should be familiar territory for them. And I have to imagine that a better w7m will show up than what we saw in Bank.
Certainly. And I think it's promising to see Dotas posting up such great numbers. He's always been the rock for this team, always been the strongest player. So if that can convert into more round wins on the second map, then I think we're going the distance and we're going to see Border.
The only thing I will note on that is that while I agree with you, you got to have the supporting cast show up. If Volps and Palu are not able to hang against the offensive power and the prowess of a team like Falcons, a one-man show is just not going to get the job done. That is a recipe to go out in an 0-2 and look for another opportunity to make it the main stage. So will w7m be able to claw it back on their own map, or will Falcons win 2-0 and send another team to the main stage? We'll find out after this break.
They can try and stick it. The drop. Charlotte comes in, finds one, can't find the second. Shepard getting the shutdown, but not before. Charlotte confirms the next one. Shepard's onto a 3K. They're sticking off on the plan. Pojo coming on the upstairs. Does Shepard know? He must know. Don't look away now. Shepard with a quadra kill. That's the way you clutch a game out, ladies and gents.
A huge gamble by Raza Company Academy. Shaiko is just, he's somewhere else sometimes. He and Usus making quick work of the remaining defenders on site, and now it's all up to Paceto. With the UMP, no deaths to be had. 2 kills to his name. Paceto slaughtered by Shaiko. I don't even think he knew what happened.
Over towards default, big kill for Nate, shuts down Shaiko, and suddenly it seems like Fury are might just have numbers, but they've lost a couple, and Philippe wants to see.
Just a bit of damage, just starting them off. Jumps in for one, and Gohan will go down. No more IQ. Experience the second Astro down the floor. Marinka, are you ready for this?
Oh!
Bango, are you kidding me? With a third getting taken down. And then the drop right below. And it's just into the face. Bango!
Shaiko is going off Tim. Finally finds himself down now. Usus has got to clutch up big. This could be difficult. The Blitz just having to make a choice here. Handy. Let's see if the swing. They just need to make sure they're getting those entries and going on it and pushing forward. Ryder. He's now 10-3 on entry throughout the series. That is an unbelievable success rate. Mates in a second. Mates in a third. Ryder. Oh my God. It's a quad. A huge ace against BDS's team of facilities. And Ryder finishes it. That is an ace against BDS.
Day holding up for the blood.
NJR destroys Miracle. Groovy is next. Revolver out. 13 kills for him. As there goes a smoke, and a reload is the smart play. Now around. Destroys June. He's on the blitz. Wall come down to Adrian on the come. Bridge! It's a 1v5. They had everything going! 1v5!
Taking everyone down in a flurry of frags, leaving it just onto one man, PZD. Lukid, he has to plant the diffuser. He comes off it for a second though, just didn't fully commit. Waiting to plant the last available second, was hoping he baited them out! But all that means is that when he goes back on, he's left susceptible.
Solotov's down! 3 days off!
Keep an eye out for contact.
Available now.
Au-delà des mers, là-bas sur le ciel clair, il existe une cité au séjour enchanté. Et sur les grands arbres noirs, chaque soir, vers elle s'en va tout mon espoir. J'ai deux amours, mon pays et Paris. Pareil toujours, mon cœur est ravi.
undefeated on this map. They lost it to Weibo 7-1.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a really embarrassing game. Perhaps that's what SSG saw. They thought, oh, NIP suck at this map. But before that, I mean, NIP had beat Los, FaZe, ENX, 9Z, and Black Dragons.
They've been beating FaZe on like every map that we checked so far.
Dude, they're 7-1 FaZe.
They own FaZe apparently.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly doesn't bode well for SSG. The historical data tells us that this is a very NIP-favored battleground, and the first 2 rounds have told the same story. Now they've used their tactical timeout, there's no second tack you're going to get.
I quite like it being this early because they know that they got to get over the line on attack. Just get those 2, maybe 3 rounds, they'll be okay on the side swap, but it's about that mental boom before you get there, right? If you go down 0-3, 0-4, it's like, okay, guys, we're kind of choking now. Fault, the captain, on the Monty now to help stabilize this round, get that shield in front of them that can call the shots and just move step by step. It's almost like SSG have to pull an NIP. Don't cut the corners. Step by step, communicate what we need, and don't make a blunder along the way. But it comes down to gunfights. We always say this, at the end of the day, Siege is an FPS game, and one-shot headshot is super lethal. Fantasy, one-shot headshot through the wall, perhaps even?
I'm
takes
sorry,
down
Foltz,
but he's the Monty.
Why are you vulnerable? Why is his head exposed?
Yeah,
Did he aim down sights? I
Surely
thought the
not.
Monty was the perfect ingredient to help SSG. It simplifies things. You just march on forward, you get the info. But no, I mean, now Bender is desperately trying to find one of these players in R6 room. He can't figure out where they are. J90 finally opens the equation for SSG, but it doesn't all add up just yet. There's a lot more to be done as NIP continue to pull back their defense.
They got Ash in the flank in the hallway as well, waiting for the right moment. There's a Bob right in front of him to keep it as well, lock him at bay. Giano goes down, and NIP, they keep fighting. They're not falling back, James. They're fighting every single kill they can get.
It's a disaster for SSG. The tactical timeout gives them nothing. Damn. NIP 3 defenses in a row, each one just as convincing as the last. SSG have 2 kills so far in this map. 2 kills in the last 3 rounds. And now in the operator bans, Callout has a chance to talk again, but he was just staring at the wall.
They're expecting a shield ban against them, mind you, from that TO.
And that didn't happen. It was a Brava.
It was a Brava ban. Now this can mean, well, they're showing it. It usually means the Maestro. That's the most obvious pick because Brava is the counter operator.
Oh, this sucks for SSG.
And yeah, also it's a curveball. They've called their attack timeout as well. They banned the Brava. They might force the Maestro. This is just a big curveball that they haven't necessarily prepared for, and it's gonna give NIP a new win condition they have not shown us before. It's been aggression. It's been gunfights. It's been C-Force vertically. Now they're playing the Maestro. It's a whole different thing. It also means that if Fantasy is not successful at Fountain's opening pick, they can rely on utility now in a much greater fashion. And also, thinking about this further, if they were anticipating Tashanka ban, Maestro is like a huge plant denial operator.
Yeah.
Much more reliable than like just a single C4. You get 3 Evil Eyes.
We need more nades. We need more explosives. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. We saw the Sophia teased out. We've got Flores, and we don't even have the nades because you ditched the Blackbeard in favor of the Monty. This is not enough explosives.
I don't think so either.
I can't believe they haven't read this. Pick an Ash, for goodness sake.
Mirror window. They literally cannot deal with mirror windows besides the Selma charges.
I'm so scared.
Maybe if they're a little bit lucky to Flores drones not being watched, they can kill them with the Flores drones or the useful Evil Eyes, rather.
You could smoke the mirror window.
Yeah.
The smoke's not going to do anything against the Maestro. The Ying's not going to do anything against the Maestro.
You know what would have been really cold here for NIP? A bandit. Like, you hide the bandit, you just trick the exterior wall because they're bringing so little hard destruction, and Kite is banned, so you're not going to be expecting the wall denial, right?
I mean, they just used one of the 4 Roteros on a bulletproof camera. Meanwhile, you got 4 Evil Eyes.
3
Evil Eyes.
3 Evil Eyes. But yeah, it's I feel like kudos to NIP here. They are making so many different problems for SSG that they are forced to either spread themselves super thin, the jack of all trades, master of none, which is kind of what they're doing here, or they say, screw the Evil Eye, soft destruction, screw the planter, verticality, or the plant denial, verticality, but they need to bring a bit of everything, which means they're gonna be lagging a lot of stuff.
Falcons have done what they needed to do on their own map, and now they find themselves one map away from being just the second team to qualify for the Munich Major main stage. Try to say that 5 times fast.
Munich Major main stage. Munich Major main stage. Munich Major main stage. Munich Major main stage. That's tough.
I know.
That's really tough.
You know what else is tough?
What?
Winning a best of 3 when you've got a major winning team and another team that has constantly been at or near the top of the standings. So for Falcons, that means you got to get it done on your opponent's map. You're going to go to Nighthaven Labs, facing W7M on very familiar soil and very familiar turf. But I mean, Falcons are Falcons. They have looked so good through their run. They toppled Shopify Rebellion. They punished E+. And now here they are in a position where they're going to do some strats. They've got the W7M drone spots, Nighthaven Labs document right in front of them. At least we know exactly what that is. That's very good. We don't need to enhance that one.
Nope.
At all. We know exactly where that's going. On the side of W7M, they have some blueprints again, but this is their map. What is going on with all the breathe rate strips that you see on people's noses? I've noticed that. Are they having problems breathing?
I've seen a lot in other esports as well, Parker. I just think it's some players like it. They get a little bit more oxygen in their system while they're gaming, and they think it helps them out. I can respect it.
I got to try some.
Yeah, maybe we do. We're here on the cast. Could get us some more oxygen.
Maybe just take some deep breaths here. 78% of you are now giving it to Falcons. That number has ticked upwards after the conclusion of map number 1. So, what happens on Nighthaven Labs? We are moments away from what could be the conclusion of this series, or we might still need a third map. Let's see if W7M has what it takes to close out their own map and make an improbable reverse sweep become a reality, but that would need Border as our third map. Before that, we'll get through Nighthaven Labs. Falcons hopeful that this is a one and done for them.
3 good reasons to think this might not be a one and done. Number 1, W7M love Nighthaven Labs. They've played it 10 times this season, 8 wins, 2 losses, dominating Nighthaven Labs all the way back to reload. Number 2, Falcons just played this map. 8-6 win over the Rebellion yesterday. They do have a good record themselves, 4-1 just this season, but W7M will have some very recent footage to look back on, and even for the best teams in the world with a ton of support staff, it is tough to change so much in such a short period of time. And number 3, frankly, W7M have not lost to this team in over a year. They beat them at reload. They beat them twice at the last major in Montreal. They should be the favorites coming into this game up against Falcons, but game 1 wasn't close. Falcons dominated, I think, start to finish. In the early game and the late game on attack and on defense, they seemed to control the pace of this game. Operator bans quickly didn't have anything really standing out. Hard breachers and wall denial are always the focus on Nighthaven Labs, and there's no difference here in this game.
There's some promising signs from this W7M team in map number 1. They did strike first 6 of the 10 rounds that they played, so early action did favor the Bulls. And they did have a pretty good run of bomb sites that they won on bank. All 3 of the rounds won by W7M on that first map did occur on different bomb sites, which shows a level of flexibility, and versatility. Words are hard. I am still jet lagged. You have to bear with me here. I slept like 3 hours last night, okay? Like, Lord.
That's valid. That's valid.
Jet lag is hard. And it hits us all.
It does.
Quite hard. Almost everybody here, other than, well, the Aussies actually got here earlier than us. But either way. So those are some promising signs for W7M. And Dodez did wake up and eat his Wheaties today as he finished with 15 kills. He had the most frags of anybody in that very first map, but pretty much everything else is bad for them. Almost every other statistic from map number 1 favored Falcons all the way down. So a hot start for W7M, just like they had on map number 1, is good. They did cool off very quickly. They cannot cool off so quickly this time if they want to survive to make Border and defeat Falcons in this best of 3.
Falcons choosing the start side too. They'll go to defense on Nighthaven, as you would expect, and this is going to be a battle of the shields, a matchup between Monty and Clash coming out here, but with the drone giving information away to W7M, looks like Dots will wisely choose to back off from that engagement. There's nobody down below as we see Loban work his way up the cargo stairs, so a full 5-man anchor on this top floor is going to be the goal for W7M to clear out. Heavy pressure over towards water. A bunch of players that direction. They likely want to support this with some pressure inside of rafters, but I'm not seeing any of that just yet, Parker. There is a mirror window still on the IT wall, keeping that one closed.
The Clash was a very big staple.
All 5 players here.
Okay.
Sorry.
You don't see that every day.
You don't.
You really don't see that every day, do you now? Trying to plug these holes that have been opened up, taking up space with smokes out. The Glaz of Palu is in the wilderness at this point. I don't even think he knows which way is up, which way is down. Might as well be shrouded in fog at this point. As he sees the clash of Uzis relocate. And just like that, w7m have bailed out of the spot. 3 silhouettes remain. The rest are going to go elsewhere. You need to move over to rafters. You need to push IT. Never mind. They are right back in here. EFAC shredding dots. The only player not involved in this direct push is the Buck of Loban down below, trying to buy time, trying to get these players into a rough spot. And the shields are just running on in. Down goes Palu. Volp's getting shredded as well. A second happens from Leaky Fax. Solotov and Shaiko on the board. Loban gets killed by Shaiko, and it's a flawless start to map 2 for Falcons. You are shaking your head.
That's one of the weirdest pushes I've ever seen, Parker. Dare I say it, the worst push I've ever seen from w7m. 5 players going Aqua Hall right into a clash that they know is there the whole time. You saw Liquifax shaking his head, too, right after they win that round. What are they doing with that push? Clearly, it's round 1. w7m are a good team. They're trying something unorthodox in that first round. It didn't go their way. Looks a little silly from our perspective, but I'm sure there's a strong thought process behind it. Doesn't work against a team like Falcons, unfortunately, and when we go back to that bomb site in round number 4, I expect to see a bit of a different approach from them, but yeah, 2 shields in 1 hallway, a Buck down below, not going to be enough to deal with that. Bit of a reset time now from w7m. They'll look to the second bomb site. It'll be down below in the basement where we typically see it for round number 2.
I wish people had been able to see the look on your face.
I was so befuddled.
I was doing play-by-play, and I just look over and just grimacing.
I mean,
it's like he's in physical pain.
You start talking about the clash, and I had to interrupt you because why are 5 people at the top of water? I don't know. We can move on. Unless we see it again in round 4, which would be astonishing.
Leakyfax EPS is 231, by the way.
After 1 round?
I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Falcons are winning.
That would be enough to give him the best game of the season. Currently, that's a 179 up against Wolves.
I think that's going to hurt his EPS a little bit there.
Yep, not going to be great to go down opening death. Nice little entry to start things off, but it's traded immediately back with Palu going down 0-2 now here in this second round.
So that's an entry into conference, a pick, and then immediately he falls off. It was traded back over here in electrical. Actually, he was in electrical. He wasn't even in conference. Okay. And I'm the one who's a bit befuddled. Boogie drones tearing up this floor as the bomb site is down below. So you start with the top floor before translating to the middle floor and then maybe even to the basement. Dodez will survey the wreckage as he's the only person on the team with a kill. Volps will die at the hands of Uzis. That's the clash getting really aggressive. I suspect a clash ban will come in from w7m at the tail end of this 3rd round.
I think that's a safe bet.
It was their target 3rd ban on Bank as well. I suspect it will come in here just because of how good she is and just because of how good, oh my, she tends to play with Falcons. Shaiko had a look of glee on his face as he blows dots sky high, and now it's Dodez and Loban. Only a single kill for w7m through 2 rounds at this point.
Yeah, nice aggressive play by Uzis. You don't see a clash do that too often. Dodez thinking he has to just hit the site. There's really no better option at this point. You're in a tough situation, so if you can get a pinch onto this clash, that would be massive. Don't know if they know he's down here. They are watching it.
They know now, that's for certain. Dodez finds his second. That'll be all she wrote. Shaiko punishing him, and now it's Loban upstairs on this main floor, just over top of the bomb site. You got a minute left. What do you do? I wonder if he directly goes for this execute. I would be using this as a time to settle things down because I suspect a tactical timeout is going to come. It looks like Loban is going to do just that. So this round should go to Falcons, which will be a 2-0 start for them. As Dodez, or as Loban, rather, looks like he has no interest in avenging Dodez.
Diffuse kit should be over by, yeah, it's just outside of storage at the moment, so he can go pick it up. He's in the right spot to do so.
Almost finds Bride, who finds his first kill. Falcons off to a nice start. Do they call a timeout? That is the question, or did they find enough time to speak in the previous round? Looks like they will keep their timeout for the time being. Did w7m call a timeout in the first map? Did I miss it?
I don't believe they did, Parker. I mean, my memory's a little foggy.
I don't think they did in map number 1. Maybe I am completely wrong, but I do not recall.
Yep. I mean, definitely things to work on for W7M in this game. I mean, this has been a horrendous start for their own map pick. Even though they're attacking on Nighthaven Labs, it just has not been it for them. A couple of pushes that have been torn apart just at the start. You talked about Usus on that clash. It's something I think he did really well at the top of ending stairs. He got an aggressive swing up onto the Vert player up above him, taking down Volps on the Dokkaebi. I think was a critical kill in the midst of that round. Felt like it started to put the nails in the coffin, and so really for Falcons, this has just been a walk in the park type game for the first 2 rounds. Expect that Clash Band to come through in a minute, and then you probably see Usus swap over to the Valkyrie, his second most played operator on that bottom floor bomb site. For now, though, Storage and Control to be our final bomb site in the rotation. Kitchen Cafeteria not seeing a lot of play these days. It's just a tough bomb site to hold on to.
We have an update from the other matchup on the A stream. If you're not watching it, Ninjas in Pajamas and SSG are battling for their lives at this current point in time, and a potential bracket buster is mere moments away. Ninjas in Pajamas are up 6-0.
Wow.
In map 3. If Ninjas in Pajamas prevail in any of the next 6 rounds, Space Station will join CAG Osaka and go home. NIP are far from out of the woods themselves. They will have to quite a run to keep their hopes alive, but it will send a North American team home. All while we were talking about that, Volps died early. That's the Dokkaebi gone. That is a devastating operator to lose right at the onset. Those logic bombs will not be available. You've also lost a player who, when he's on, he can stack up against the best of the best.
Yeah, Volps north side of the map goes down to Likifak, who's just playing inside a lounge on that mid floor. Tough one to lose early on. Space Station in a tough spot, you mentioned it. They went down 0-3 in Swiss in Manchester last season, so no strangers to early exits from major events. Something to worry about if you're a fan of that team. For now, the goal is going to be to continue to clear the top floor above the bomb site. The Mute Jammer just gets dealt with, and so those can openers can start to do the work that they were meant to. Opens up that wall from jungle, and now they've got that extra angle. You can start applying more pressure to the top floor players. Shaiko inside of Rafters, Usus inside of Command, Bride and Server. These are the guys they need to root out if they want a successful attack, and I do think it's going to require some utility, either the Grimbees or the Candelas coming out from Loben.
I fear that this is a situation where the round might be over before it's even really started, Jesse. I mean, you've got that. It's an operator that enables you. It's a nuisance op. Don't maybe not count them out. But Dodes is also the only player on the team who's been able to muster a kill through those 2 rounds.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing on that Nomad. Loben using a utility dump over towards the fish stairs. He finds nothing for it. Dots dies at the hands of Likifak. Dodes, still the only player to get a kill. And now he's got the diffuser. Get the man some help, I beg you. Palu dies down below. They finish off Dodes. And now Loben will need to find a pick as he runs away. Look at the reaction on his face as he heads for the hills, rotating over towards the case that Solotov is sitting on. I don't know if Loben's going to be able to get there in time. No, he won't. 4 players still alive in the Solid Falcons. This is a miserable start for W7M.
The Wolves seem to be here in Munich. Didn't think they qualified.
I was going to make a joke about how much nicotine you can see on the fingers of Likifak, by the way.
Oh,
that man's outside chain smoking just to level up between the games.
It's tough out here, but listen, tougher for W7M. This is a 3rd round now where we've seen Loben really struggling in the late round. They will call their attack timeout now, try to have a conversation to get things involved. We've talked actually yesterday, Parker, about how Loben is often a very solo player on W7M. He's pinching the opposite side of the bomb site. He's going in by himself. He loves to play these individual positions with his team, but it's just resulting in him being the last alive over and over again in this match against Falcons. It does not help that nobody else has been able to get a kill other than Dodes. It really needs to be a whole team effort to wake up. Not sure there's anything strategic specifically that's been going wrong for them. I just think some of their executes have been really poorly drawn up, and nobody's firing on this team.
Bad match for W7M, that's for sure. And unless they can turn this around, it'll be Falcons skating into the main stage. We do have an update for you in...
That can't be good.
We do have an update for you on the NIP SSG matchup. After a spirited 2-map series that went to map number 3, Space Station is officially the second team to go home. Ninjas in Pajamas dominating SSG 7-0 on map number 3. And we say goodbye to a second team today. We'll be saying goodbye to more teams tomorrow, but we now have an answer as to which teams will go out without a victory. The answer is from Japan, CAG Osaka, and from North America, Ninjas in Pajamas, or sorry, Space Station Gaming.
It sucks, Parker, but at a tournament, somebody's got to come in last. Somebody's got to lose.
There's always going to be bad teams. That's how it works.
Yeah, and I mean, even if there aren't horrible teams, still even the best teams will struggle to have bad moments, and I think that's going to happen from time to time. So Space Station not performing here, nor were CAG Osaka. Falcons and w7m, both still in a spot where they have been performing. I'll remind the viewers that w7m will not face elimination if they get 2-0'd by Falcons. They'll go on to play wild card in a best-of-3 tomorrow, and that could be a huge rematch as we get to see Dots square off against his old team. Dash square off against his old team, I should say, up against Dots. It's been a long time since those two have shared a server, but would be a big moment as all 5 reigning major champions come together in one matchup here in Munich.
Do your little prayer circles, or your little candle circle, or your summoning circle, or whatever people do.
You won't hear a thing.
It's tough for teams, right? I mean, I had SSG making the top 8 based on the run that they had. It was a tough go of it.
Yeah.
You were gesturing.
Parker, I was just going to say there's some great news for any fans of the Bulls, and that is that there are less than 5 players inside of Aqua, and we're already 60 seconds into the round. So clearly a different strat being brought out. In fact, nobody has touched that side of the map. It's going to be a connector-focused execute coming out from w7m. Work being done on the IT wall as we speak as well. The Maverick doing everything that he can, try to get some angles here. That's Dots, the hard support player. He's left Lobin to play the shield, as Dots has been the primary shield player for this team for many, many years now, but Lobin can be extremely deadly too, especially on the more aggressive shield combos of Blackbeard and Blitz. It's the Blackbeard today, hopefully going to be something to allow Lobin to get his first kill of the map.
SSG only won 18 rounds in all the games that they played, by the way.
Jeez.
It's not an ideal number to have. Dodez really needs some help at this point. He's still the only player through 4 rounds on w7m yet to get a kill, but he did lead things off, tearing through Solotov. He'll now contest with even more as Falcons look to be quite safe inside of this bomb site. Shaiko taking some serious damage. There's the offense that we need. Volps and Dodez there. Uses the only kill at this point in time. He'll get a second for his trouble as it's him and Breeding to stand against the hordes. Uses finding a third. Volps and Dots. What can they do? 1 kill between the 2. Down goes Dots. A quad kill from Usis. Why don't you give him all of them, Jesse? Who will find Volps, or will Volps find them? A standoff with 35 seconds left. Usis has case control, yet to die. Looking to go 7-0. Brede also yet to die. Volps will send an EMP in with the sidearm out, walking in, and Brede will deny the ace, but Falcons win yet another round, 4-0 to start.
Usis just a monster, man. So good up in top of rafters, playing around that IT breach. They didn't have any other angles coming at him from below or from Aqua Hall. Just hit some brilliant shots on the Ella. 25-year-old support flex player coming in from Chester, England. Some ridiculous shots being hit, and even though he plays somewhat support roles alongside Brede, the talent that is on this Falcons roster is absolutely ridiculous. Played a bit more of a fragging role back when he was on that M&M team, and now has been extremely flexible for this Falcons squad. A big part of the reason why they've been so successful. I think sometimes you look at this Falcons team and you talk about Shaiko as one of the best players to ever touch this game. You talk about Leakyfac, an exceptional roamer, an exceptional captain who does so many things for his team. Even Solotov, who I haven't had a chance to mention it yet, but the highest rated player from the first day of competition here at the Munich Major. None of them, the main stars for Falcons in that last round. It's Usis to come alive instead. Really a nice play coming out, and we'll continue to play that Ella for this round 5 as well.
Yeah, I mean, if things are working, why bother changing it up? w7m took the clash out of action and was hoping for an easier way to the bomb site for the second map in a row. That the British shield op not being favored by the attackers, and for good reason. That clash was a huge impediment through 3 rounds of the start here of Night Haven Labs, and also had a big impact on 2 rounds on Bank, which is why she was taken out. But Falcons made some changes. Dodez, once again, all but 1 kill on the side of w7m. The offense is sputtering for this Brazilian team.
And it's crazy because, again, this was the best attacking team yesterday, Parker, in the entire tournament, an 80% attacking win rate. Dodez is a big part of that, and he continues to be great on the entry, but what does it matter if the team can't follow it up?
EFAC is the first one to die. Guess who killed him?
Dodez.
Dodez killed him! Again, the only player on the side of w7m with some teeth here. Dots has sustained a serious amount of damage. Lobin dropped by Solotov, who's himself had a deceptively quiet run. 3 kills at this point in time, the highest rated player yesterday, and he's looking for more. He'll find it onto Paulu. Bride's been dropped. Can he be retrieved? Will somebody on w7m be baited into securing? Oh my, a good read from Volps, as now he'll find a second for his trouble. Securing Bride, killing Solotov, and w7m, for the first time in this series, have the lead.
That's Paulu with credit for the kill onto Bride, so that's going to be a 3rd member on w7m getting out of the donut. Could be more to come. Usus very separated from Solotov, and the team is hitting the site. He is not going to be a factor in this execute if they go fast.
Shaiko and Usus combining for 10 kills. They're the last 2 standing, and boy, oh boy, they can come together to do some real great things. Shaiko will take down Dodez, and Volps and Dots are both very low on HP. A single bullet will fell them. Usus finds 2. That's 6 kills in the last 2 rounds. 5-0 for Falcons. w7m have no answers. I don't even know what you do at this point in time.
w7m don't look like themselves. This team stalls out in a way that we're not used to seeing from them. They go through the top floor. It goes pretty well. They get a man advantage, and then they go to hit the site. They all go down storage, Parker, and I say, this is great. It's a 1v3 because Usus is on the top floor. They don't have to worry about that guy. And then they sit bottom of the storage, or they sit bottom cargo, and they sit bottom cargo, and they sit bottom cargo, and then Usus in sight, and he kills the last 2 players. I mean, it's really been a disappointing map from w7m. They are not playing a great game of Siege today. Falcons, for their part, have been phenomenal. Everybody seems to be stepping up, but Usus in particular has been ridiculous. 8-0 is the stat line to start this, and he is on pace to have his best game of the season.
You know whose name we have barely said today?
Whose?
Shaiko.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Like, think about it here.
Yeah.
I know that it's not the Shaiko show anymore. And for people who haven't watched Falcons in the last couple of years, they think, okay, well, Shaiko's going to spawn him. He's absolutely going to dominate. It's not a bad thing to think. Shaiko is still one of the best players on any given day here. But you've got an incredible supporting cast. It really goes back to what not just we say, but other teams say, what other casters say. And it's really quite simple. Who would you replace on this Falcons team? Where is the upgrade potential? Right now, there is no weak link on this team. w7m, if you exclude Dodez, they have a combined 19 deaths and 3 kills.
I mean, that's just horrible for the start that they've had, again, on their map pick, too. And they've just found no answers, whether it comes to the utility game in the early matchup, or whether it's the late round executes. Dodez is still fragging. He will stop LickyFac for going for an aggressive run out. That's a bit of an ego peak from the captain of Falcons, but rightfully deserved given the scoreline we're staring at. The one player on w7m who's in the server shuts it down, but what else can come from this?
Usus still has not died, by the way.
Yep.
He has been invincible up to this point. Now it's Shaiko under fire in IT. A nice upside down repel. Dots gets on the board, and another player breaks that goose egg that they have. w7m finally maybe waking up. At this point in time, you need anything you can muster because Falcons are 2 rounds away from a berth on the main stage. This has been surgical by w7m. Bride slaughtering Paulu. Usus in a rat spot right now in command center, and he's been droned out. He knows there's another in the same position. Uses takes one down. He's about to be flashed. Completely blind. You've got to be kidding me. Lined up on the door. He pops up, but unable to ADS in time. That's going to leave Breede to clutch a 1v2. And Jesse, you know he's been here before.
That he has, Parker. Breede in a very powerful spot. Doesn't have his Nitro cell, so it's got to be all with the SMG-11 shotgun combo. Dotas and Volps, plenty of time to work with. They can recover that defuse kit as well. It's just upstairs with them. It won't be too difficult to pick that one up. They've got strong drones, both of them trying to find this last player right now. If they're finding out exactly where he's not, they'll learn quickly. He's just tucked inside of control. Shoots the drones now, both of them finding him at the same moment. Now is the time to reposition and hopefully clutch this up with Dotas on the kit.
It's almost inhuman watching Breede read situations like this. Volps and Dotas, still being alive, are traditionally two of their best fraggers, so if you have a chance to take him down, you're going to send these two guys after him. Shotgun out to engage in close range. He doesn't have control of the other bomb site. That might prove to be a bit of an impediment. Down goes Volps, reflexively expecting a quick follow-up from Dotas, but he's too far behind. If Breede can wait out the time, it'll put Dotas in a position where he has no choice but to plant. Intel inside of the bomb site, getting in the head of Dotas as he's stalling for time. Dotas taking the opportunity to go with the intel. Breede marching in, and he wins the round. Falcons 6-0. One away from the main stage.
Let's wrap it up. I haven't seen domination like this in so long, Parker.
Did you not watch the NIP SSG game?
No, I was casting this game, and honestly, I would wager that this has been more dominant. Falcons look like they're playing a ranked stack at the moment up against w7m, and part of that is the mistakes w7m are making. Part of that is the ridiculous clutch gene that seems to be bred into all five of these players, Uses and Breede in particular, putting on a ridiculous clinic that round. That was a 2v4, if I'm not mistaken, with all of those players. 2v5, I was mistaken. All of the players on w7m still alive at a minute 39. They've got time on their side. They've got numbers on their side. They've got positioning on their side with nearly full top floor control. They had information on Uses too. They had utility on Uses. He was full blind and he still just got main character syndrome. I mean, there's only so much you can say about a performance like this. Uses' best game this season came July 7th against Team Secret. He had an 11-4 KDR with a 146 EPS. He is smashing those numbers right now. Only one round separates Falcons and a top 8 berth. They will be the number 1 or 2 seed alongside M80 heading into playoffs if they can just get one attacking round win on Nighthaven Labs.
I don't know if all the other casters who've been talking about this team have referenced Julio's impact as a coach, actually standing behind them, but Julio is one of the smartest minds. He's a world champion. He's really just all around a great player, and he's been all over the globe in almost every single region, helping teams to succeed. But boy, oh boy, is maybe he the secret sauce here on this Falcons roster. So credit to Julio for all that he's been able to brought. And I mean, I think Falcons were even barking earlier. I don't
They've been barking a lot, yeah. And
just a bunch of dogs just chasing cars right now, and they've managed to catch most of them.
Yeah,
cars at this point.
Cars are broken down, the highway's shut down, and they're going to need some real heroics to start it back up again. For w7m, I'm not going to say it's a GG go next. You know how good this team has been.
There is no next.
the next is tomorrow.
It's GG go to the games tomorrow. Yeah.
Next is wild card waiting in the wings, but for now, I mean, we've seen this team battle back from tough situations. I'm not sure if they've battled back from situations tougher than this, but there's a first for everything. Good Mav play coming out from Breede, gets that wall nice and open. Leaky Pack opens the wall as well. They didn't actually ban hard breachers. They went for Buck and Deimos, so a bit of an unorthodox banning strategy from w7m, and maybe that's what's needed when the task is this big.
Momentous.
Momentous,
That's
thank
what
you.
you're trying to say.
It's late.
You can't keep saying it's late. I just said momentous.
It is late.
It's a byproduct of the Alberta education system, ladies and gentlemen. I wonder if the Clash will be able to do anything on w7m's side. Dots has been struggling all across the board today when it comes to kills. I mean, struggles on the offensive side of w7m have definitely been there. I'd like to remind everybody, this is w7m's map.
Yep.
So I'm a little bit confused as to what is happening. But I mean, Falcons are Falcons. They look mighty, mighty good. That secret M80 game definitely felt like a big match. This one, not so much. Shaiko punishing Dodez. That's the lion's share of kills on the side of w7m now in the afterlife.
Shaiko hunting for top 8. It's been extremely rare that he's missed it in the past. 17 S-tier events, and only twice has he missed it. Solotov finds the second, Shaiko with the third, and they are just 2 kills away.
Wrap it up, Jesse. It's all up to Dots, setting his shield down, laying down his arms. Falcons searching for a flawless end to this series. They've got Dots trapped as they circle the wagons, and they will get it. 7-0 for Falcons. To the main stage they go, joining M80. W7M will have to wait another day.
Parker, it was one of the biggest disappointments of this team's careers when they didn't manage to go very far at EWC. They got dead last at the last major tournament in Siege. They're going to make sure that does not happen again. Top 8 secured so dominantly against one of the teams that has bested them year after year, moment after moment. The rematch of the Montreal Major Grand Finals ends in a complete upset, with Falcons looking like by far the better team today.
Oh, unequivocally so. 3 rounds all W7M could put together across 2 maps. It wasn't even so much about that. It was also the way that they played.
Yeah.
They looked a little lost when it came to Bank, and they looked even more lost when it came to Nighthaven Labs. Falcons just had an answer for every single question that was asked by this W7M